I have before me the toughest schedule in the ACC for 2015, and it includes, off the top, Alcorn State and Tulane. How could that possibly be the most difficult schedule in the conference for 2015? Well, MarkRogersTV running through all the schedules in the ACC and then beyond. We're going to go through every Power 5 conference schedule, rank them per the conference, and then also compare them across the board and rank them 1 through 66. So we've come to the top of the ACC, ranked them 14 all the way up to number 1, and we've stopped with the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, the defending Coastal Division champions, who open up with Alcorn State and Tulane. Okay, then it gets mighty hard. At Notre Dame, at Duke, North Carolina. Okay, that's manageable. And then, to conclude the season, Georgia Tech has to deal with this stretch. At Clemson, Pitt, Florida State, at Virginia, Virginia Tech, at Miami, and Georgia. So let's look at it this way. Although Georgia Tech plays in the weaker of the two divisions, they still have to contend with a number of postseason eligible teams. Teams like Miami and North Carolina, Pitt, teams like that. Duke, that have been postseason mainstays for the most part over the last several years. So good programs, decent teams, top 40 type teams. So who does Georgia Tech play in the other division? That's key. Well, they always have to play Clemson. That is a non-division rivalry game that always is played. So they've got to play Clemson, and they got to play Florida State. So this is part of what makes this the most difficult schedule, that they have to play the two toughest teams in the conference, Florida State and Clemson. They're one of only two teams in the ACC that have to play the two toughest teams. And then look at the non-conference play. This may be, outside of Virginia, we give all sorts of credit to Virginia for playing Notre Dame, UCLA, and Boise State. So that's the toughest three-game stretch of any non-conference schedule in the country. I haven't even reviewed all the schedules, but I know nobody plays three games like that. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, has a two-gamer. Again, aside from Alcorn State and Tulane, the other two non-conference games at Notre Dame and Georgia to finish the season. So those would probably be the two toughest non-conference games that anybody has to deal with, taking on Notre Dame and Georgia. All right, so again, it's the two toughies out of the Atlantic Division in Florida State and Clemson. It's this brutal stretch of Clemson, Pitt, Florida State, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Miami, and Georgia. And it's also the two non-conference games that rank with just about everybody in the country or anybody in college football with Notre Dame and Georgia. So this is the most difficult schedule in the ACC. It's Georgia Tech trying to get back to the ACC championship game and an Orange Bowl berth against the most difficult schedule in the ACC. Need to hear from you on Georgia Tech and the rest of the ACC scheduling right here on Mark Rogers TV.